Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad that you're joining us for Up and to the Right. And I am thrilled today to be able to have my friend and one of our great pastors here at North Church, Pastor Clint. Good to have you, Clint.
Good to be here with you, Pastor Rodney.
And for you that don't know, I'm Rodney Fouts, and we are each and every week we gather here and we have conversation with people that we enjoy, getting to learn more information, be inspired, encouraged, and today, we're going to talk a little bit about Love OKC.
It's going to be good. It's an exciting week. One of my favorite weeks out of the year.
Yeah. Hey, so first, before we jump into Love OKC, Clint, you've been now with me for 19 years almost.
Yeah, it's been well over 18 years.
Yeah.
And just a little after year one of North Church's history. So.
Absolutely. Came here. You said, I want to come. I said, I had nothing to pay you.
Yeah.
So you worked not at FedEx.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I told you I had a job. I didn't need a job. So
yeah, you did.
Yeah.
And then, so after a while, we figured we need to get more work out of him. So we got to start paying him.
Yeah, I had a lot of sleepless nights during those time frames, averaging 3 or 4 hours of sleep. And but I was doing what I love to do. Honestly, the work at FedEx was just providing me a way to be in ministry and be a part of this church.
Sure. And you served. Tell us about some of the areas you've served at North Church in.
Yeah, so started out as the volunteer kids pastor and kind of an upfront kids pastor. And then I began to realize really quickly that God had given me some gifts in administrative type stuff and leadership. So started recruiting, raising up teams, and filled that role for many years and eventually moved on to being more of an operations oversight and, again, leaning into recruitment, those kind of things, to being executive pastor and executive director of operations, providing oversight for groups, host team, various areas, budgets, finance, those kind of things. So I've done a little bit of everything, almost everything in the church except for be the senior pastor over the years. And it's been a great ride.
Hey, a few of those times that I've been gone, you've stepped in those roles of acting in that role as senior pastor too. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hey, so let's talk a little bit about, you've been with us, and the reason why you're at the table right now is because you've been a part of this journey from the very beginning with Love OKC.
Yeah, we started Love OKC. It's hard to believe now, looking at the dates today, in 2012. I was thinking back to that first event that we had at the old John Marshall football field. It was a cold day when we served thousands of people. I think we served around 10 or 12,000 people that weekend, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I don't think it was quite that many, but it was. It definitely felt like it was that many.
Yeah,
because it was so cold. In fact, even to date, it's the coldest October 6th.
I believe it.
On record, ever recorded in Oklahoma City.
Yeah,
and it wasn't just the temperature was that cold. It was the wind was blowing so hard. The wind chill was just. It would cut you like a knife. It was quite unbearable. But we had a lot of people show up.
We did.
And we had a lot of volunteers, probably had about 1,500 volunteers. And we just loved on people and served them.
Yeah, it was an incredible day serving so many people and seeing a team come together. To see 1,500 people come together and serve the community is a really special thing. And that kind of sparked my passion for Love OKC one day and how God could use so many churches, partnerships, all that stuff. It's really unique.
So for the people that don't have a feel of Love OKC one day, now of course we'll get into this event this week, which we are actually calling Love OKC Drive-Through. And while we've made the changes, but let's look at a Love OKC one day. What all did that encompass as far as service for the honored guests? Because we call them honored guests that are coming.
So for our guests, we were trying to provide practical things that could help them actually be successful in life, not just for one day, but ongoing. So we had areas like family photos, we had free haircuts, we had medical, we had dental, we had a job fair, as well as community services. We gave away groceries, and then we also had food for the day, plus a kid zone so that kids can play and have some fun that day, and it can be a special day for them as well. So we were providing many services normally in a normal Love OKC one day, providing many services and using multiple partners to come together to make that day possible.
So we did this at John Marshall the first year.
Yep.
And then we realized that we needed a larger venue because we realized this is impacting the city. And so we moved from there to the state fairgrounds.
Yeah.
And then we were there for several years.
Yes, that was a huge blessing to us because it changed the game as far as parking goes and then being indoors. So we didn't have to worry as much about the climate because we had indoor facilities that we could serve people through mostly. But the parking lot was a game changer.
Now, the people that regularly come and volunteer will have typically anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 people volunteer to serve anywhere from lower years of about 5,000, 6,000 people upwards to 12,000 people that are honored guests that we come in. The reason why we call them the honored guests because that's exactly what we want them to be.
It's their day.
Yes.
It's their day. We're there to serve them. We never want it to be like someone's coming here and we're just giving them something. We want to make that day special for them and make it a highlight in their year.
So just pulling off the top of my head some numbers that I remember that we would have, we would cut like something like 600 haircuts.
Oh, yeah.
Pull like some 250 teeth.
Yes.
Hello. That's a lot of teeth.
It's a lot of teeth. You're talking pulling teeth and cutting hair from 9 a.m. in the morning until 2 p.m., 3 p.m. in the afternoon, nonstop.
With tons of dentists.
Absolutely.
Tons of hairstylists.
Yes.
That we appreciate so very much. And then photographs. I don't remember how many, but if I remember correctly, somewhere around 1,500 family photos. That's families. Some of these families may have 8 people, some of them 4 or 3, whatever. But you're talking, that's different family units.
To see how excited people were about those family photos, Pastor Rodney, was really inspiring, and it makes being a part of something like Love OKC One Day so special because you could see their eyes light up because it was something special that they don't normally get to do, taking those family photos.
And we would have on an average of about 40 different social service organizations there that covered the whole gamut of opportunities for people that are in need, whether they are completely homeless or near homeless or just struggling and to make ends meet, that we can actually help them out and connect them with other organizations. And I think it was such an attraction for most people because it really helped them.
Yeah, I think the job fair is one of the things that stood out most to me. I was thinking about one of the stories that came from that. We had a family come one year, and the dad applied for a job through our job fair, ends up getting a job. They had been down on their luck. The family begins to be successful, and then they end up coming back and serving Love OKC One Day the next year for other people. And that's what it's all about.
And then in the medical side, we had so much going on there. Mammograms that we would have somebody, ladies could be checked, and then we would refer them if there was any concerns possible, that we would refer them for ongoing treatment.
Absolutely.
That would be covered, for them. And then physical therapist, other types of optometrists.
Eye exam. We didn't even talk about eye exams. Yeah.
I mean, there's many more things that we may be leaving out right now because somebody may be watching like, hey, we did that. Well, we can't probably cover everything, but it's truly amazing what happened that day. And then, of course, the kids zone where kids just have fun. We've had everything from horses to different animals to just blow-ups.
Face painting, inflatables, lots of activities, hands-on activities where the volunteers are really hanging out with the kids, having a great time with them.
Tons of men out there making hot dogs or hamburgers or whatever it is we're doing. So they fresh food right there on the spot. And then, but before they went home with basically one box, as a general rule of thumb, would be for a family of 4 for a week. And then they would have another box that would be of toiletries, which every year was a little different. It could be everything from toilet paper to lotions to various other supplies for the house. That would be there.
Yeah, we call that the box of essentials. So it like you said, there was a variety of things, but that served people so well.
But before that last thing, we would also pray with everybody.
Yes, sir.
And what would happen there?
We would have families come through before they get to the groceries, and they would have the option to be prayed for or not. And it's amazing that almost everyone accepts prayer, Pastor. And we would actually have
What I
prayer
found-
team members. Go ahead, Pat.
What I found is that pretty much if they didn't want prayer, it's usually because their kids were so afraid and so just ready to get out. But really, over 90% of the people received prayer.
Absolutely. And 90% of people or more were positive about it.
Yes.
They were saying, yes, I need prayer. So our prayer team members would sit with them in chairs and group up like a small group and begin to pray for needs, to see how that we could serve them. And we would take that information and sometimes celebrate healings, because we've had healings happen, salvations happening in that, and lots of life change happen.
Yes. No, yes. That's one thing we continually celebrate is people who came to Christ, people whose lives were healed. But, it was all the preparation that led up to that. Everything from as they stood in the line, how they were greeted, how they were welcomed in the building, how they were treated by hairstylists, how they were loved on by the social services or the people taking the, pictures, or the medical or dental or whatever it may be. They loved on all these honored guests so well that they were prepared to be prayed for by the time it came to that point.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's the coolest about that event in particular is that, it's not easy to serve 5,000, 10,000 people. You have to be well thought out, planned ahead, lots of safety has to be put in, and then some of your workers could easily get overwhelmed by just the sheer volume of the people that we're serving. But everyone's attitudes just stayed so solid and encouraging to others. And I think that's what leads to that prayer moment, Pastor Rodney. It's good.
So we were on that run for several years.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it came to a halt. Why did it come to a halt?
Yeah, I believe we've had 8 events. And then something like COVID-19 happened. Yeah. And we had to actually cancel the event for 2020. And during that year, we still were active in the community. We had a few grocery giveaways. We were still connecting with people and making a difference in the community.
Yeah, we had a total of 3 tractor trailer loads.
We did.
That we brought in. We were able to distribute in the Oklahoma City community, also in Guthrie.
Yes.
And actually, some of that on one of those went down to the Chicoto area for the Freedom House Teen Challenge
Women's Recovery Center. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
and then they distributed throughout the community.
Yeah. So Guthrie, Oklahoma, Chicoto, Oklahoma, and in the Oklahoma City metro area, we served all during 2020. In turning back into this year, not knowing what COVID was going to do, we felt it would be best for us to do a drive-through this year and continue to serve the community, really bring the idea of that one-day event back, but in a simplified version that we could serve people better during the pandemic.
Yeah. Okay, so how did Love OKC just start?
Well, I think you'll have to tell that story, Pastor, because it really started out of God stirring your heart and Him leading you.
So, well, to play off that, then for me, we were doing some things out of our groups, our North groups, and as a church, because we wanted to have a greater presence of Christ in our community, of serving those in need.
Yeah.
And so we were doing some things, but during that time is when I actually went homeless by choice, but it was part of God speaking to me whenever I saw a homeless individual, quote homeless, who it was obvious that they were doing things that were underhanded, and they were trying to get money. And then they went over and got in a car, and they kind of fake in the wheelchair.
Yep.
Actually, it was in a wheelchair, and they get over there and they get out of the wheelchair, put their wheelchair in the back of the car.
Yep.
And I make this comment about homeless people.
Yeah, I was in the truck with you that day.
And so I make this comment about homeless people. When I did, the Holy Spirit convicted me. And it was like, nope, you're going to go homeless. And I was like, that's not God.
Yeah.
And I fought against that for a few days. And then I realized, no, this is God speaking.
Yeah.
And God gave me a date. This was when this event happened, and God first spoke to me, was, I believe, sometime in September. But God gave me a date, the very first week of December. And so I put that on the calendar. I kind of held it close to the chest for a little while. Then I shared with Shannon, which she really didn't like it too well.
Yeah.
But she, I kept saying that I feel like God wants me to do this. And then I shared with the elders, and then eventually the trustees. Did not share with the entire church. and then I went homeless for 4 days.
Yeah.
And I mean, homeless in that all I had on me was an ID. No money, no cell phone, nothing else, just an ID.
And God has a sense of humor, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You talk about coldest day of the year for Love OKC one day. I think that was a pretty cold time frame there when you went homeless.
Absolutely. No, it really is kind of interesting how God has a sense of humor. But in December, you can expect colder weather, obviously,
Sure.
but not the kind of cold weather that I faced those 4 days.
Yeah.
It was the absolute coldest 4 days of the entire winter,
Yeah.
the 1st of December,
It was.
which is, you just don't normally have that. And it got down in the single digits 3 of the nights.
Yeah.
And one of the days did not even get in the 20s. It stayed in the teens during the day. And then the other 2 days it got, in the 20s for high temperatures. And so it was miserable. And I was asleep on the ground right next to other homeless people and finding my way into the city rescue mission, getting food, finding other places to get food, was really an eye-opening experience for me, knowing that I did this by choice, but many other people do not have a choice in their homelessness.
That's right.
And I got to meet people it was very interesting, the groups of people that I met. Some of them had, mental issues. They struggled with mental health.
Right.
Others, it was an issue of they were sharp mentally. They just had fallen on hard times just overnight, which could happen to anyone.
It can.
And then some of those, it was their choices of maybe drug abuse or alcohol or some type of abuse that got them into the situation that they were in. But God opened my heart to the homeless population and the near homeless. And out of that came the idea for Love OKC.
Yeah.
And initially, the first year, we partnered with Convoy of Hope, which were absolutely wonderful. And they have a worldwide presence.
Yes, they do.
And they respond effectively and quickly to humanitarian needs around the world. And they were so wonderful with us for the first year. And they helped us provide that framework to be able to continue to do this.
Yeah.
And then when we came out of it the second year, we did not go specifically with Convoy of Hope as that main partner. We joined with a local organization called Feed the Children and began to partner with them. And it just grew and it just continued to move forward.
Yeah.
And I feel like that over the last many years, Love OKC has a seal of approval in the Oklahoma City metro area that people identify it as something that is genuine, it is making a difference, and it's something that you want to be identified with that's helping the community.
Yeah, it's been great. I think something that goes along with that is just the relationship that we've had with Oklahoma City Public Schools.
Yes.
And the fact that they've been so supportive of helping us with the event, getting the information out to the families that are in need, and in some situations, even helping us bus people in from some of their locations to the event has just been powerful. We've seen a lot of good done in that.
Yeah, so Love OKC and the partnership with Oklahoma City Public Schools has probably been the key partnership.
It has been, yeah.
Because I think that it's been a benefit for their families, their teachers, administration. They have been so overjoyed to be a part of this. And I think it's been a blessing both ways.
Yeah, they're one of the main reasons that people think of Love OKC the way they do.
Yes.
Because they've been that connecting point for us.
So tell us a little bit about some other partners, because we have a number of partners.
We do.
You don't make this thing happen.
No, it's huge.
When we did this before, now we're going to get into what this year is going to look like in just a moment, because it's going to look different this year. But in the past, the Love OKC one day was somewhere around $1.5 million in goods and services provided one day.
Yeah.
And that, I think that's pretty conservative. My estimates, we've said 1 to 2 million.
Right.
I would say 1.5 to almost $2 million.
Well, on partners, I would just go back to Convoy of Hope. They've been an incredible partner of ours, and we've partnered with them in many ways. Even just this past year, we mentioned doing the 3 giveaways. One of those trailer loads came from them.
Yes.
And really impacted the community in a big way. So we honor that partnership. Some of the key partnerships over the years, there's been many of them, but Hobby Lobby has been...
They've been consistent.
Consistently giving towards Love OKC, specifically Love OKC one day, for the entire 8 or 9 years. Yeah. And that has been a huge resource for Love OKC one day, and truly it wouldn't be possible without Hobby Lobby. So we're so thankful for that relationship and all that they've done. And then we've talked about Oklahoma City Public Schools. Key partnership. Without them, it's not possible. Our partnership with the state fairgrounds, really over the past several years, as it's grown and gotten bigger, the state fairgrounds being the location and them donating the majority of that to us has been key in our relationship with them and us reaching the community. And then I would also say Feed the Children, having groceries at a discounted rate so that we could afford as an organization to give those groceries away has been such a huge blessing.
Yeah. So they are giving us the packaging of that, the food. Now, Love OKC is still purchasing that by the donations of people. So
Absolutely.
when they buy boxes, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. When you buy a box, $25 a box, you're helping to provide a family of 4 food for a week.
It's an incredible deal.
So Love OKC, though, is still paying for that. So we need those donations because Feed the Children is not giving that to us for free, but they're giving us at a discounted rate so that we can make this possible.
It makes it possible. And you mentioned being pre-boxed.
Yes.
That changes the game as far as volunteers and organization and us being prepared for the day. To have those essentials as well as the groceries pre-packaged is a game changer. It makes all the difference in the world. So those are some of our key partners. We've also had many churches, 501c3s, and different organizations involved throughout the city that have been a big impact on it.
Yeah, because Love OKC has not been, while it may have been birthed out of North Church, it is now its own 501c3 company.
Absolutely.
It operates independently of North Church, and we come along to simply support Love OKC.
Yes.
And then several other churches come along by giving volunteers or giving resources or information or whatever it may be to help make this event what it has become.
Absolutely.
And serving the community.
I was doing one of our next step classes for some new people that are coming to North Church just a few weeks ago, and I started talking about Heart for His House and some of the other things we're doing for local outreach and missions. And I mentioned Love OKC, and they looked at me like, Love OKC? I had no idea that was birthed out of North Church. And I think you and the team has done a really good job of making Love OKC for the people. For many organizations to come alongside, be a part of, and champion our city through that. So it's good.
And there are tons of those, whether it's City Center or City Rescue Mission have come closely with us, whether that be
Bridgeway Church.
Yeah, Bridgeway Church and several of the Life churches have been involved
with.
There again and again. So moving into this year, what is it going to look like?
Well, we're going to have a drive-through. So many people may be familiar with the old Crossroads Mall down at I-240 and I-35 area. It's now the Santa Fe South School, and we're partnering with them this year as well to have the drive-through basically in our parking lot. So that's this Saturday, and we're going to be giving groceries away. We're going to be giving household goods away. We're going to be giving pet food away from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. On that day, this coming Saturday. So really exciting. Some of the partners that are coming alongside would include World Vision. I mentioned those household goods. I'm starting to see some of the photos, Pastor, of some of the things that we're going to be giving away to these people.
Some quality stuff.
Yeah, power drills.
Yeah.
Like stuff that people can really use to impact their life and make a difference in their family.
Yes.
It's quality stuff that can be used. This is not hey, we're throwing this away, you can give it away type stuff. This is someone really wanting to be a blessing to others. We had a company that came to us and said, hey, we want to give dog food away. Would you guys be okay with that? And we realized pet food costs a lot of money.
Yes.
So we want to be a resource and give that away as well on that day. And then we'll also have the Feed the Children groceries that you mentioned earlier that's going to be given away on that day as well. So still going to be praying, still going to be serving, smiling, loving on the community, giving away groceries, giving away household goods, giving away pet food. And I want to give a shout out to some of those partners, Pastor. Yes. So Hobby Lobby, again, they are helping make this year possible. And we couldn't say thank you enough for everything that they've done. The organization World Vision, without their donation of those household goods, we wouldn't have that to give away.
Yeah.
So we want to say thank you to them.
So on World Vision, though, the key partner, there's a key connection there that's making that happen. What is that?
Yeah, it's Ebenezer Baptist Church.
Yes.
Pastor Scobie has made such an impact on this year in particular. And this is something that they've been able to do in the past. So we're even gleaning from their experience as we serve people.
Yeah. They're pretty much, so Ebenezer Baptist Church, and also there's some other churches and pastors that are working with Ebenezer and Pastor Scobie. So it's not just him alone.
No.
But that are making this possible. Because without them, we would not have the World Vision connection. And it is amazing what they've been doing on a consistent basis for the last year and a half or so.
It is. And you mentioned the partnerships with Love OKC and how that drives things. This is another example of that, of how God has brought something together to make a bigger impact.
So I know this with what's happened with World Vision and the partnership with Ebenezer Baptist and some other churches too. And I apologize that I don't have those right off the tip of my tongue. But Pastor Scobie and his team and the other pastors that are working with him, something like over $8 million.
Wow.
To maybe plus, that's probably even conservative, that they've actually been able to distribute in the Oklahoma City metro and then even some rural areas.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
It's just unbelievable.
It really is.
Well, God, what is amazing to me, Pastor Clint, is that, you turn on the news, you see so much negative, so much... it's just kind of depressing.
Yeah.
But there are great people doing great things for the kingdom of God and making a difference out there. And I want to connect with those individuals.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to connect with those organizations. Yeah. And I want to be a part of the solution to the problem, not sitting around getting on Facebook or social media and complaining about the world.
Absolutely. Let's celebrate the good things.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about what God's doing and how lives are being changed and impacted.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm pumped about this Saturday. I want to really highlight Santa Fe South Schools and Superintendent Chris Brewster. Thank you for letting us use your parking lot on that day, your indoor facilities, and so much more. Got to give a shout out to Raina Font. She's the community parent outreach coordinator, and Raina has really been our go-to for Santa Fe South, and she's been helping us with so much. I also want to give a shout out to Oklahoma City Public Schools once again, Mid-Dell Schools, and more public schools, because it's through them that we've been able to send out our flyers electronically and let everyone know what's going on.
Got it.
So it's been big.
So what can we expect this weekend, and how can we be involved? How do we get involved?
Well, we're having that event at Santa Fe South Middle School, which is located at the old Crossroads Mall at 7000 Crossroads Boulevard from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Okay.
For people to be involved in that day, one, if you need services, just show up that day so that we can serve you as one of our honored guests, pray with you, be there with you, and connect with you. If you're looking to volunteer, we've got the link up on the screen for you. You can simply go there and sign up to be a volunteer, be a part of the host team this weekend, be a part of the prayer team this weekend. There's many areas people can get involved, or grocery giveaway, many areas people can get involved in and be a part of there. You can be praying for the event as well. We're praying that God would use this to make an impact in our community. We know that there are many people in need right now, and we want to continue to see God do something special in the metro area. And then you can give. You mentioned $25 per box. There are easy ways for people to give, not just to represent one box or one family, but you may be saying, hey, I want to give and represent 10 families.
Sure.
So what does that look like? We have many ways that you can give financially. You can go to Cash App at $Love OKC. You can go to Venmo at love/OKC, or our website at loveokc.com, and give any way there to support.
So, when you talked about prayer, they can come pray on site.
Absolutely.
We're actually, I think, going to have our some prayer meeting happening there on site. We're actually going to be praying for every single person or family that comes in. So every car, we're going to be speaking into those individuals, giving opportunity for prayer, praying with them. And so prayer is still happening for every single person.
It is. I was talking to Margot. Margot heads up Love OKC for us. She coordinates this whole event and does such a fantastic job. she was saying that as we're walking along, we're going to be encouraging everyone in their vehicle and also praying prayers of blessing over them, on top of them having the opportunity to go and be ministered to by the prayer team.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really cool.
And also, we need Spanish speakers.
Yes, sir.
So that is very important, that we have plenty of people who can translate where needed. And so we encourage them to sign up. If you're a Spanish speaker, we need you there that day.
Or if you know someone that's Spanish
absolutely.
speaking and can translate, that would
And
be
then
extremely helpful.
For all the volunteers that show up, do they get anything?
Free T-shirt.
That T-shirt. Okay, there we go.
We always have the best looking T-shirts.
And they're so comfortable. They're like the best. They're the ones that you
really
want to continue to wear. In fact, I'm in the community often. I love seeing people over the years, seeing those different T-shirts that we have passed out and seeing people wear them.
I was at On Cue a few weeks ago and saw someone in a Love OKC shirt, and I pointed at him and said, "Hey, do I know you?" And we were able to connect, talk about church. And,
Good.
And it's really cool. We see a lot of Love OKC shirts around.
Good. So again, this is this weekend.
It's this Saturday.
October the 2nd.
Yes.
9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Yes.
And they can go to the Love OKC website,
Absolutely.
or if they have the North Church app, or if you don't, you can go to the North Church app, download it, and you can go to events. And under the events will be the Love OKC drive-through. Click on that, and then you can sign up right there. And also, either on the website or on the app, you can make your donation that way.
You can. Yeah. The nice thing about signing up to be a volunteer is you can automatically click a button and give towards the event as well.
Yes.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And it's absolutely important that we do need to have more donors, more givers.
Absolutely.
We are really behind the 8 ball in regards to that this year, and we need people to step up and to be able to give to help make this possible.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I would encourage everyone, don't just depend on someone else to give. Do something. Make a sacrifice and do something. If you can't be at the event, if you can't serve the event, even if you are there, I think all of us could afford to do $25 to support another family in need.
Now, again, we've done Love OKC one day for many years. This year is Love OKC drive-through. It is going to look different.
It is.
But it does not change its impact. It's still going to impact lives for the good, and we get to be a part of it.
It's exciting. I'm glad that we're doing it. I think last year, although we did some smaller events, I really missed out on this, and I know that so many of our volunteers have missed this opportunity. It's going to be great to get together on Saturday morning and have that volunteer rally.
Well, Pastor Clint, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I'm excited about us getting together, working on this on Saturday, and all the others joining us.
It's going to be great.
I'm so glad that you joined us today, and man, just be praying, volunteer, show up, and let's be ready to bless some people this coming Saturday for Love OKC drive-through, and that will be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. God bless you, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week on Up and to the Right.